Well, now that the environment is fully set up and running smoothly, the final task remaining is to configure the predictive dialer system, which is crucial for optimizing our operations. As of August 29th, 2023, the OMniLeads stage, which is a crucial component of our system, still does not have its own predictive dialer, so it relies on the use of a third-party predictive dialer. This is a licensed predictive dialer, not open source, called Wombat Dialer, which is known for its efficiency and reliability. I will now show you how to set it up, configure it, and perform the initial configuration in a step-by-step manner to get the predictive campaigns running smoothly and effectively in detail. Note that it goes on the localhost port 8082 and next we will log in using the username demo and the password demo1 for the admin account. Once we are inside, we will go to the basic configuration section, which is the first step in setting up the system. In my case, it is already configured, but here you simply click on the plus symbol to add a connection between the predictive dialer and the Asterisk running OMniLeads, which is essential for the system setup and ensures smooth operation. So notice that at the address level, the address we are going to point to is ACD, and this is because in Docker, directly between one component and another, they are resolved at the networking level directly with the name of the service declared in the Docker compose. If we look here, for example, the component that materializes the functionality of Asterisk, let's say of ACD, of OMniLeads, is precisely called ACD. That's why we name it that way, right? This naming convention helps us easily identify and refer to the specific functionalities within the system. This means that if I enter the container that has Wombat Dialer and ping ACD, you will see that it responds with this IP, which is the one taken by the container running Asterisk. That's why ACD resolves it, and here instead of putting an IP address, we directly put the service name and port. This Wombat Amy and the password can be found here in the environment section. No, not the environment section. Actually, this is inside the Asterisk file. I will show it now. I just want to do this to test. This allows me to test that the predictive dialer component is correctly connecting through the Asterisk manager interface to Asterisk. If this pair of keys actually works, on one hand, you will find the key here at the AMI password level, but the AMI user, instead of being OMniLeads Amy, is Wombat Amy. This actually comes inside the container. It is already part of the code. Now I am going to the Asterisk container, which I will invoke like this in a clear and straightforward manner. Notice that this simply allows me to directly open a bash inside the Asterisk container, and here I am just going to run a cat on the OML manager Pong, and you will actually see Wombat Army and the password. I exit the container, return to my desktop, and now I'm going to proceed with the trunk part of the project. This involves several steps that require careful attention to detail. In this scenario, the situation is similar, as it is simply a reference name, and here it will specifically identify characters such as the slash, the $sign, the braces, the term NAML, and the letter N. It has to be this way. Here we can put any extension just to see that this context exists in this specific scenario, and the call can indeed be made. Alright, once I have this configuration set up and ensure everything is in place, I activate the dialer. By doing this thoroughly, I ensure that the system is ready to go. This way, I should already have. Alright, to actually and basically interact with the dialer, I am essentially going to create a campaign directly First, I am going to upload a contact database. The contact database, here you can download an example. In this part, you download an example to see what the CSV looks like. It is a comma-separated CSV, typical of the Unix world. I think I have this window here. Phone, name. The very, very significant and very crucial thing is that the first column is phone. Download the example and build it based on that. I have some test databases here, and I think it's clear that they contain a few more records than usual. To manage these records properly, I will give each database a specific name, define its parameters carefully, and save it. This detailed process ensures that all data is accurately recorded and easily retrievable in the future. Once I have successfully obtained the database, I will then move forward to the next step, which involves creating a detailed and comprehensive template for the project. What I usually recommend is this: use a dialer campaign template and then simply clone it. Generally, for some repetitive operations, we simply have the template, and based on that, we then generate predictive campaigns. This involves preparing a detailed plan, collecting the necessary data, analyzing this data, and finally implementing the campaign. Well, these parameters are actually in the documentation, so I won't spend too much time here because there's already a course that explains all these web interface configurations. I'm just going to go through it quickly. What is interesting here is that we focus on getting this up and running. For the more detailed aspects of each campaign and each menu of the web interface, well, that's what the manual and the course are for. So I'm going to go ahead and in a swift manner complete the creation of this template here, ensuring every detail is perfect. Since I already have ratings created, which are predetermined evaluations or scores, I will assign them directly without any modifications. I will select the day from the calendar, and I will leave everything selected for maximum flexibility. This is a template that can be used at any time of the day, whether it is morning, afternoon, evening, or night. I will leave it almost all day activated, meaning it will be active nearly the entire day, every day of the week, from Monday to Sunday. To finish, and now that I have my template, which I have carefully prepared, I will create a new campaign, a task that is quite straightforward, where I simply have to select the date. Every time I create a campaign from a template, I already have everything checked off, all the major configuration of my campaign. Therefore, simply by setting the date and editing the agents and supervisors, I can create my campaign. In this case, well, actually what happens at this moment is that my campaign, if my campaign, which is this dialer 6, this test dial, is the one created by the environment initializer by default, I am going to finalize it. This campaign is not usable as of today, which is why I created a new one currently. So if I have already generated this one, it means that it has been created here within the same predictive scaling module, which is designed to handle such tasks efficiently and effectively. If I go to the campaigns section, I have the dialer 6 right here, which is the one I just generated. I already had this environment with some records, that's why you will see these two. One corresponds to the test, but well, indeed, this is actually the one we just created. So now this campaign at the dialer level, this external third-party component, is not running. It is created, but it is not running. So what I'm going to do right now is give the order to run the process here. And now, after giving the command, I will be able to see the results displayed here on the screen. Dialer 6, this is the one that matters to me. 7-1 down, dialer 6. This is the one I just created. And actually, well, as you can see, what I'm really doing is, although at the OMniLeads level this is a campaign that I put on pause, that I can stop, that I can recycle, in reality, all of this is making a communication via REST API to what is Wombat Dialer, this predictive dialer component. So, well, here I would have my predictive campaign, for which I have the dialer configured with the step-by-step process I just showed. And now a predictive dial campaign is set up with the assigned agents. Now at this point in time, we need to log in an agent in order to show how a call works and its functionality. Well, with the campaign currently active, what I'm basically going to do is actually log into an agent. Essentially, basically, we will simply navigate to the supervision view, where we can manage and oversee various campaigns and dialers, ensuring everything is running smoothly and efficiently.
Well, I can see that I'm receiving calls. Actually, it's ringing because of this issue. As I mentioned earlier, I'm not going to delve much into the web configuration part, but here there's a section where I can set the behavior of the agent group so that calls coming through the predictive dialer don't ring. Instead, I'll make it so that the next calls that come through the dialer will connect directly without giving me the option to answer or not. This means that the calls will be automatically connected to the agents without any manual intervention required. I want to check here with agents in Firefox. If you have it minimized, I think it doesn't connect. There it is. The calls are coming in. I'm going to pause my campaign so that calls stop coming in, or simply, well, here in Wombat we can also see in the real-time view how the numbers are being dialed. And, well, in my campaign, for example, if I look at the reporting section of my campaign that I just created, I can see how many calls were made, how many are still pending to complete the base, and what happened with each of these calls. This is the reporting part, but, well, to wrap up the configuration of the predictive dialer and campaign testing, I wanted to do this. Now, let's go into more detail about the configuration. When setting up the predictive dialer, it's important to ensure that the settings are optimized for the best performance. This includes configuring the dialing rate, setting up call routing, and ensuring that the agents are properly trained to handle the calls. Additionally, it's crucial to monitor the performance of the campaign regularly. This can be done by checking the real-time view in Wombat, where you can see how the numbers are being dialed and the status of each call. By doing this, you can make necessary adjustments to improve the efficiency of the campaign. Furthermore, in the reporting section, you can get detailed insights into the performance of your campaign. This includes metrics such as the number of calls made, the number of calls connected, the average call duration, and the outcome of each call. These insights are valuable for understanding the effectiveness of your campaign and making data-driven decisions to optimize future campaigns. In conclusion, setting up and managing a predictive dialer campaign requires careful planning and regular monitoring. By following the steps outlined above, you can ensure that your campaign runs smoothly and achieves the desired results. Thank you for your attention, and I hope this information has been helpful. I wanted to have some calls come in, and I could also perform an action, specifically an F, on my other agent, who is referred to as Agent 1. Additionally, I could take some calls myself as well, with the agent being logged in. If this was already a call that corresponded to my campaign, which is managed with the predictive dialer, I would be able to handle